Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is January the 25th. I think it's 7 or 8 games in the NBA for today, man. I'm hoping everybody is staying warm, everybody's staying safe, everybody has power, everybody has heat. On the East Coast, it's freezing. Snow everywhere, ice everywhere. So I hope you guys are safe, man. I hope you guys are safe. Let's get into it. I don't plan to be on here for a long time today. Just wanted to share a couple looks with you guys and then get off of here and go enjoy the snow with the fam myself. So real quick recap, didn't do a show yesterday, didn't make a play yesterday, just kind of, trying to prepare for the storm, last minute stuff. We had a basketball game yesterday as well. So I didn't make any plays, got a chance to watch a couple of games, but I didn't make any plays. As far as Friday go, I did have a 1 and 2 day Friday. The winner was Cam Spencer over his points, rebounds, and assists. That was the easy winner. 25.5, I think, was the number that we got. And then I lost a bet on the Cavs and the Kings under. Cavs decided not to play too much defense. They were on the front line of a back-to-back, so that's probably my bad there. Not the greatest of reads there. Thought it would go under. Kings offense looked good, though. I think they shot above 50% from the three-point line for majority of that game. And then the other loser was on the Detroit Pistons, minus the 3.5 against the Houston Rockets. Did not come to play. K specifically with 12 points in that game. They were held to like 104 points. Offenses looked abysmal as of late. But yeah, so those were the two losers. Those were the two losers. We had actually had a couple really good days in a row. Hopefully we can get back on track for that. I hope you guys have been able to find some ways to make some money as well. Let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into it. So go through the comments real quick. J Man, what's going on, my brother? Hope all is well. What up, Free Sauce? Please says good morning. Good morning. Right back at you. Markel says I hit the like button. Appreciate that for sure. D Johnson says, Chris, let's go. I'm surprised we got a show. Yeah, man. I've been looking at this card for a while now. What's up, Jay Carter? He says I haven't caught a live in a minute. Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Double. Appreciate you for tapping in as well. All right, let's get into it, man, because I am a little bit late on today's slate in general. We're gonna jump right in. So Jackson is up first. AI Sports Betting Tool linked in the description. Encourage you guys to check it out if you're interested. So I asked Jackson so the two plays that Jackson liked on Friday, because we didn't do a show, was Denver minus the 5.5. Hold on, is that right? No, that can't be right. Let's see real quick, because we already talked about that. I think I gave you guys a play. I just can't remember exactly what it was. I had my notes yet. So you know what? We'll skip over it just for time purposes. I don't want to take too long. As far as the looks for today, I asked Jackson, the prompt for today was what is use the NBA.com advanced stats during the last 10 games exclusively. Define betting value as a mismatch between the betting line and the underlying efficiency, pace, and matchup metrics that are not currently reflected in the market. Use the data to give me the top 2 spread bets, ranking them in order of confidence. So Jackson likes the the Pistons, minus the 14.5. It says that it's a matchup where the advanced metrics suggest a massive talent and efficiency gap that even a double-digit spread fails to fully capture. Detroit currently boasts the second best net rating in the NBA at plus 7.1, and the defensive rating, second best defensive rating at 108.5. The most significant mismatch lies in the half-court defensive profiles. Detroit is elite at forcing opponents into long, ineffective possessions, while Sacramento offense ranks 28th in offensive rating and 25th in half-court points per play. Sacramento is currently decimated by injuries to their core rotation. Keegan Murray's out. Zach LaVine is also out. Without Murray, floor spacing and LaVine's secondary playmaking, the Kings lack the personnel to exploit Detroit's defense that ranks number 1 in the league in half-court points per play allowed. Furthermore, Detroit is a dominant rebounding team, ranking second in offensive rebounds, which should allow them to generate a high volume of second chance opportunities against a Kings team that ranks 29th in point differential. So that's the first look. The second one is on the Oklahoma City Thunder minus the 11.5. Jackson loves OKC. It says this game is a game where the advanced metrics highlight a massive defensive mismatch. OKC is number 1 in the NBA in total defensive rating at 105.5. First in net rating at 12.9. They face a Toronto team that while competitive is currently missing his primary interior anchor in Jakob Poeltl. Without Poeltl's rim protection, the Raptors could struggle to contain OKC's offense that ranks third in effective field goal percentage and third in rim efficiency as well. The Thunder are elite at taking care of the ball, ranking number 1 in turnover percentage, and they lead the league in forcing turnovers. This creates a possession gap that is difficult for even good teams to overcome. Toronto's offense ranks 17th in offensive rating and the dead last in corner 3-point frequency, meaning they lack the perimeter volume to keep pace. And if OKC's half-court defense shuts down the paint, that is something I hadn't thought about, because typically if you beat the Thunder, it's because you can knock down some shots from the perimeter. Toronto's not a good three-point shooting team, specifically from the corner, based on what Jackson is saying. So I actually like that. I don't know if that means I want to bet OKC minus 11.5. Maybe a look towards Toronto team total under. But yeah, I like that. I kind of like that. All right, so those are the 2 looks for Jackson for today. Let's jump into it for today, man. Let's get into it. I got a couple looks I wanted to share with you guys. So we start with this Kings and Pistons game. Spread is 14 and total is 225. So we take a look at the injury report really quickly. I had it pulled up. Let me just get it pulled back up real quick. I know what I wrote in my notes yesterday is that, and my notes are probably updated. I just want to make sure I got the most updated stuff here. So let me just double check real quick. You know what? I don't even know why I had the page open at. Never mind. You know what? Let's just go to it on the computer. So what I had in my notes was Levine was listed as questionable. He's been downgraded to out. We talked about that already. And then I think Detroit is going to be fully healthy. Yeah, LeVert is listed as doubtful, and Cade Cunningham is listed as probable. Keegan Murray, of course, is out. So Sacramento, second straight road game, 4th game in 6 nights. They did have 1 day of rest after losing to Cleveland. And then Detroit, coming off a loss as a favorite against the Houston Rockets. They actually 10-0 to the under in their last 10 games. The Pistons have had no trouble scoring against the Kings this season, though. When they played last month, they shot 54% from the field. They won that game 136-127. Sacramento has dropped 4 straight, giving up an average of 123 points in that stretch. So what I play here, I bucked the trend as far as the total goes, and I bet the over. I know, like I just mentioned, Detroit being 10-0 to the under. The offense has been pretty bad. I put it in the write-up that the offense has been really bad, and it was no ways to really sugarcoat it. They're 6th worst offensive rated team in their last 5 games, scoring just 109 points per game. However, Sacramento, I looked at them as double-digit dogs this season. They're allowing 125 points. In their most recent game against Cleveland, they just gave up 123. Golden State got to 137. Phoenix got to 129. And the reason I mentioned Phoenix is because Phoenix is not a fast-paced team, similar to Detroit. LA got to 125. The Lakers also don't play super fast. Houston got to 121. Denver got to 123. In fact, in the 9 games that they've been a double-digit dog, the Kings, 8 of their opponents have actually gotten up and over 120 points. As a double-digit favorite, Detroit has actually scored 120 in 3 of them 4 occasions as well. And we're looking at a Kings offense that it's not great, but they have had close to a full roster outside of Zach LaVine in this game. Sabonis being back, even though it's a terrible matchup for him with Durant down low, I do think he's going to help the offense out, maybe just as a facilitator. His assist prop, I think, was listed at 3.5. He's been clearing that number in the recent games as well. The Detroit isn't a team that's going to give up a lot of assists, but Sacramento's team total is like 104.5, and I think they should be able to get to that number with 2 teams that are top 10 in pace in their last 10 games. So in their last 5 games. So I bet this one up and over. If I would have waited for Zach LaVine to be ruled in, I could have got a little bit of a better number, but I think I got 225.5. I'm cool with that. That's what I bet in this game. I bet the over. As far as player props goes, there is one that I haven't bet yet, but it is on my short list. And it's Jalen Duren, man. Like, Duren has a really good matchup in this spot. I'm going to actually go over and show you guys real quick what I was looking at when I was looking at Duren. I mean, just off the strength of him playing against his team in general. So you can see this is field goals made, but you can see his points, playing pretty well recently, 18, 20, and 18 in his last 3 games. And he just gets a beautiful matchup in this spot. I think he had the best matchup on the board. He gets 95% of his points, of course, in the restricted area. And We know that the Kings are dead last in defense in the restricted area. Kings are also a bottom 5 in points allowed via pick and roll man and via putback, where Duren gets scores a ton of his points. He actually had 23 points against Sacramento when they played earlier this season on 10 for 15 shooting. So this is the most recent game when they played 2 days before Christmas. You see he played 32 and a half minutes in that game. And you can see that he shot 10 for 15 for 67%. Duren has a really good matchup in the spot. It should be a 20-point game for Duren here is what I'm thinking. So that's the way I chose to I didn't play Duren yet, but Duren is on the short list. I'll probably end up getting there, just haven't put that one in yet. So that's my thought process on this game. Let's go through the comments real quick, and I'll push through the next one. Let's see. Jock Landale double. Resource says like Westbrook as well. Points, rebounds, and assists. Let's get nasty. What's up, 77 Figures? He says, great morning. Shout out to the Heat on the destruction of the ass. The Jazz got destroyed last night. What's up? Ricky says, what's up? He said, I'm on time today, 4-0 yesterday. I love to hear that. Freesauce says he likes a bonus double at minus 120. I was looking, Freesauce, I actually wanted to fade Sabonis points. He was listed at 16 and a half. And he had a good game last game against Cleveland. I just kind of feel like the spread's 14 and a half. They get blown out. Sabonis will be sitting down in the fourth quarter. I don't think this is a game where Doug Christie will play around with his minutes too much. That scared me because we know that the Pistons don't give up a lot of points in the paint. They're the best rebounding, second best rebounding team in the NBA as well. I kind of wanted to fade Sabonis. I feel like his assist was too low. But if I'm fading Sabonis, it's probably just his points. 16 and a half matched up down there with Duren. That is something that I also had on my short list. Sabonis under, but he can still get the double. We could both cash there. But Sabonis under his I think it was 16 and a half points or something that I had there. Let's see. DJ says Chris Dawson, Duncan Robinson over his 8.5 to not 10.5 points. No real strong thoughts. I know he shot the ball pretty poorly in that last game against Houston. I think he shot 2 for 8 in that game. He got some good looks. I heard JB Bickerstaff talk about it after the game. I kind of feel indifferent. I kind of feel like Detroit should feast on the inside. Like Detroit isn't a great 3-point shooting team, so because of that, I feel like it should be better matchups on the board. DJ is my thought process, but don't let me talk you off. Jameis Hilgo K under his 25.5 points. Would love to hear more about that. Why you want to fade Cade in this spot? But his assist prop looks good. I could 10.5 was too rich for my blood though, so I didn't play it. What's up, Adam? Hope all is well with you. Antoine says, morning, Chris. How you feel about Sabonis double or 10 boards? Sabonis is a rebounding monster, man. Like, I can't fade his boards, but I do think because it's a 14 and a half spread, it wouldn't surprise me if he just didn't get his full allotment of minutes. That's the only thing I could think about. When I think about wanting to face Sabonis. Here's the reason why I couldn't take his boards under. I'm not taking them over either. Don't get it twisted. But here's the reason why I couldn't face Sabonis boards, because potential rebounds in the first, 31 minutes is what he played in that last game against Cleveland the other day. So that lets me know that he's probably close to being off a minute restriction, if not, off a minute restriction altogether. So just real quick, his potential rebounds was crazy in that last game. So against Cleveland, Cleveland's not the worst rebounding team in the league. He had 16 rebounds in 31 minutes. On 31 rebound chances. That's what I saw. 31 rebound chances. Even against the Heat, he played 17 minutes and had 16 rebound chances, pulled down 10 of them. So I'm not fading his boards. Like, it's juiced to the over at minus 134. I guess he can get the double. I'd much rather just play him under his points at 16 and a half. I think I don't think he's going to be that effective against Duren, is my thought process. This is a team that gives up, the second fewest points as far as in the restricted area. Detroit, I think Sabonis is going to find it hard to score tonight. Let's see. Oh, when his hand's 100%. Okay. What's up, Malik? He says, love the look. I was thinking it over this morning. They gave up 122 to the Raptors, 130 to Miami. I'm back on the looks. Shout out to Derrick Rose, man. I got a chance to watch his retirement ceremony last night. After that Bulls and Celtics game last night. Derrick Rose, a real one, man. I love Derrick Rose. It was dope to see Taj Gibson and Joakim Noah, Luol Deng. Yeah, that was fire, man. Tibbs was there. It was dope. Chicago showed him love, and A lot of people, a lot of players chimed in too, man. Not just Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but a lot of NBA players was on that tribute video too, man. Shout out to D Rose for sure. Let's see what else y'all thinking today. Jay Carter says I took Sabonis 10 boards. What else y'all got? What's up, Saturated? Is finally catching the live again. Theo says Kings covered the line 70% of their road games. Pistons have covered the number 26% of their home games. Kings 8-2 to the number last 10. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So next game up I wanted to talk about that I actually have a play in is this Dallas and Milwaukee game. So this is, you talk about, I see Freestyle said it a couple times, nasty Sundays. This is nasty right here. This is a nasty game in general. So if we look at the injury report, the Dallas Mavericks, of course, can submit their injury report late. They lost to my Lakers last night in Dallas, and Lucas, second, third, how many games he's been back to Dallas now. And so they're on the road, unrested. And then on the, so they can submit the injury report late. On the Milwaukee side of things, gross, because they don't have Giannis, because they don't have Kevin Porter Jr., they don't have Taurean Prince. Gary Trent is probable. AJ Green is questionable. Immediately, I wrote my notes under yesterday, but I didn't get the best of the number. So I stayed off the total because it's dropped a little bit too low for my liking. This was at 220.5. I think it dropped all the way down to let's see what the best number I can get right now. I think it dropped down to like 218. Let me just double check. Still 220.5. So maybe I will get there on the under. Here's the thing though, like Dallas defensively at home, they're good. We've talked about this before. Outside of the game that they just played against the Lakers, their defense has been really good. They held the Warriors under their team total. I gave you guys the numbers for their opponent team totals under. The offense is not as good on the road. We know that. But the defense also isn't as good. But I don't think Milwaukee's going to be able to really score the basketball. The team total is 110.5. Without Giannis, without KPJ, I just think that they're going to struggle to get to that number, even though Dallas, likes to play fast. Milwaukee's offense is bottom 10 over the last 10 games. Regardless of all that, what I ended up playing was Kyle Kuzma under his points in this game. And I wanted to consider rebounds. I wanted to consider assists. I feel like he may do well in those categories specifically, but I'm going back to Outlier really quickly. Link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Outlier. If we look at Kyle Kuzma, and there was just one simple filter that I used. First of all, Kyle Kuzma's been terrible all year offensively. That was the first thing, like just watching the Bucks play. One of the reasons their offense sucks so bad. So you can see over his last 10 games, not only is he going under, he's over in 2 of the 10 games, averaging just 10.8 points. But he's shooting 44% from the field, 34% from the three-point line. So not really shooting the ball well, right? But also not shooting it a lot. Four attempts from the three-point line and 9.3 overall, right? So then we go back, we look at the full season, under in 33% of his games, averaging just 12.5. But we definitely got to add that Giannis is not in, right? So Kuzma numbers should go up, right? No Giannis should get more value. Not quite. So this number is 15.5. Well, I got 15.5. I think you can still get 15.5. So 15.5 is what I got. And you can see that he's under in 11 of his 13 games without Giannis this season. The books keep setting the line higher, but his usage goes up. He has a 4% usage increase. He just can't seem to get to 16 points to save his life. Then I think about the matchup, right? Even though the Mavericks are on the second leg of a back-to-back and they've been playing, quite a few games as of late, they're still, a top 10 defense as far as transition. Kuzma gets a fourth of his points via transition. He gets another 21% of his points via spot up. Dallas is also top 10 in spot up defense. And 21% of his points come via catch and shoot. Dallas is the best catch and shoot defense in the NBA over the full season. And over the last 5 games, they're also top 5 in that defensive category as well. So I like the idea of fading Kuzma here. I think if you want to bet on him, you probably want to bet on his rebounds and assists. The other one I considered was, I didn't play this one, but the other one I considered was Bobby Portis. This one, I feel like it just kind of makes too much sense. But Bobby Portis over his 14.5, I think was the number, 14.5 points. Let me just double check real quick. 16.5. So the number's up to 16.5 now. If we just go here, we go games. We filter this without Giannis. You can see that he averages right at 16.5. So with Giannis in, he averages 11.6, but without Giannis, 16.6. You can see here, he gets a usage increase of about 2%. He doesn't get the greatest matchup, which is why I didn't play this officially. Since he gets a lot of his points via spot up, 35% of his points come via spot up. Dallas is top 10 in opponent spot up defense on the season. He also gets 29% of his points less than 10 feet of the rim. Dallas allows the third most points. So I'm thinking they put Bobby Portis on the block and let him go to work today. I'm not sure how they're going to score the basketball without Bobby Portis in the spot. So Bobby Portis over his points makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I think that this line was a little bit lower than 16.5. I swear I thought it was 14.5. So maybe it's been bet up, even though I don't see it bet up over here on the side. So I could be tripping, but I think when I looked at it yesterday, that's what it was. And I do kind of think I just kind of think that this team's going to struggle to score the basketball offensively. So I still kind of lean their team total under. Like I said, for Dallas, it's not the greatest spot, though. Dallas is not in a great spot. Real quick, Dallas is playing second leg of back-to-back, 3rd and 4 for Dallas. But I don't want anything to do with the Bucks laying points without Giannis and without Michael Porter, without Kevin Porter. There was one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys real quick. Let's see. So, real quick, it was the Bucks offense. And this is with Giannis, right? Last 5 games, the Bucks offense is the worst in the NBA. They're worse than the Wizards. 106.1 offensive rating. They have played against the strongest strength of schedule in their last 5 games, but it just feels difficult to want to bet them to get to 111 points. Like, I think the pace could slow down this game. I'll see what the injury report looks like for Dallas when it comes out, but yeah, I can't bet the Bucks. Can't bet the Bucks here. Just fading Kuzma for me. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What up, dude? Says had Bulls money line. Hope everyone's safe. This storm going on. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy in VA right now. J-Man says Najee Marshall over his 22.5 points plus rebounds. I like this, J-Man. I actually like Najee a lot. Najee been hooping. I'm interested to see what they do with PJ Washington. He came off the bench yesterday. He didn't do much at all. I think it was his first game, one of his first games back. Same thing for Daniel Gafford. Gafford missed 6 games. See the Lakers on the schedule, suit up like he, got his life on the line. Don't really do too much yesterday, but I would imagine that he may not play on the second leg of a back-to-back either. So when that injury report comes out, you might have a steal on Najee Marshall points plus rebounds. I would play the whole PRA too. I think he can get the assist in this matchup as well. And they don't really have a true point guard, of course, with Cooper Flag playing point guard. Let's see. What else should I send in this one? Team is broken. Free Sauce says, I agree. He looked terrible. Raptors fans said, I like Bobby Portis double-double in this game. Let's see what we can get for a double-double with Bobby Portis real quick. I didn't even consider double-double. You can get a plus 115 on FanDuel DraftKings right now. Plus 125 on Fanatics. Plus 105. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Plus 115. I couldn't talk you off. Yeah, I'm betting them under. Free Sauce. What's up, Fahrenheit? Appreciate you for tapping in. Reminding people to hit the like button. It definitely helps. Max Christie shooting 10 threes the last 3 games. His volume is up, and I like him for 3 to 4 threes. He was told to shoot more threes. Shout out to Dad for the look. Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. He was hitting last night. He was also hitting against Golden State the other day as well. That could be a good look. The Bucks 3-point defense is absolutely atrocious. They typically get murdered from the 3-point line, so this makes sense. Milwaukee. Yeah, I got Milwaukee as the 8th worst 3-point defense as far as frequency, 9th worst defense as far as accuracy. Last 5 games, bottom 5 in both. So Christie, if he's hot, for sure. Dude says, I think the Kings plus 14 snowing crazy in Detroit. They want to win and go home, and they don't need a blowout to that. Yeah, I could understand. As long as they score. Hopefully they don't care about defense. OG says Bobby Portis isn't great without Giannis. His numbers are actually a lot better, OG. They're a lot better. Like, it's crazy how good he's been without Giannis on the floor. Freestyle saying the same thing. Yeah, y'all looking at the wrong. I don't know what y'all saw. I saw Bobby Porter's numbers go get a lot better. So real quick, just so I don't sound crazy, let me go double check my work real quick. All right, so Bobby Portis this season is averaging, I think I had some of this in my notes already. Bobby Portis this season is averaging 14.9 points. If we look at games without Giannis, 16.4. So, I mean, that's what we need for him to score. He averages 4 more points per game without Giannis. With Giannis, he only averages 12.9. So his points go up about 4 per game. He gets a rebound and a half extra, 7.6 rebounds. His usage goes up 2%. He plays 4 extra minutes, 4.5 extra minutes. He makes 3.5 extra. He takes 3.5 extra field goals. So yeah, I think I mean he has played better. He's absolutely played better. Malik says that total is so perfectly placed. I'd take over 220 to be honest. These defenses are awful. Bucks giving up 110 for their last 5 games. But you know how it is, Malik, when you playing and you rallying around the troops at home. And I don't know. I don't trust Dallas offense either. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. And I think you need threes to be able to score in this game. So you're right. I'm not betting it pregame. But if something happened that's irregular early, then look for a live play because I will be on something live. let Dallas threes be falling there early, and I'll take a live under for sure, or vice versa. Adam says Rollins over his points and rebounds. I know it's ugly lately, but with players out, it's much better hit rate. Yeah, I considered him too. It's gonna be him, or I don't really think anybody else on that team can score. AJ Green's not in a really good matchup. His 3-point prop is, I think, under was like -160 for 3.5. Like he's not in a great spot at all because of Dallas 3-point defense. And who else is gonna score the basketball on this team, man? Gary Trent Jr. Like not for my money. LJ says Bucks are trash in the first quarter and first half at home. Okay. Yeah, I agree with this, Adam. I definitely agree with that. All right, I can't get to all the comments, but I'm trying my best, man. What's up, Mark? Hope all is well with you. Real DJ X says he hit the like button. Appreciate that. Mark says I was reading that Dallas was having a hard time getting out of Dallas. That says under, in my opinion. And that makes sense that they had a hard time getting out of Dallas. I need to look into that too. Mark says he got in on under 222.5. That's probably what I saw at. I knew I didn't see it this high. And I knew I missed the best of the number, which is why I wasn't going to play it. All right, let's keep going. Last game I wanted to touch on really briefly. Hit the like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new or you find the show helpful. And I want to touch just briefly on this Heat and Suns game, man. Like I'm running my systems just to see, what's out there for today. And let's start with the injury report. So Jalen Green is listed as questionable, of course. I'm not sure if he's going to play. I would lean more on the side of caution that Jalen Green does not play, but I'm not on the team, right? And then, of course, Devin Booker was hurt in that last game against Atlanta and is already ruled out in this game. I didn't expect him to play. So Miami Heat are on the second leg of a back-to-back. It's a terrible spot for them overall. Tyler Hero is listed as out. Khalil Ware didn't play last night. Davion Mitchell is also listed as questionable. This is probably the hardest game on the board, which is why I'm staying far away from the side. But the total I feel like is still a tad bit too high. This was all the way up to 229.5. It's come down to 226.5. And I agree with the under here. So his 5th game in 7 nights, which typically go under. This is for the Heat, of course. Second leg of back-to-back, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th, 5th and 7th. And if I'm not mistaken, I think all these games have been played on the road. Maybe one of them was played at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-game road trip all on the road. Like this is not, you can't find a worse spot in the NBA. But the Heat are laying points in this spot, and I don't agree with that either. The reason why I can't bet the Suns because it's their first home game after a 6-game road trip. So I don't want anything to do with that either. They do have the rest advantage though, but it's only 1 day of rest in between. I feel like the Suns come to play defense in this spot. These two teams, of course, just played when the Suns was on this road trip to start the road trip back on the 13th. The Suns lost that game. I was on the Suns in that game. I remember being on the Suns. They lost that game 121 to 127. They ended up getting a point and a half. I think I bet them as a 1-point favorite in that game. And that game did finish 248 points, but that game also had Devin Booker. And it also didn't have a Heat team that was playing 5th and 7th. So I think that this game goes under the total. I think that the Suns will bring it defensively. They've been really good as on defense at home. That's the way I kind of see it, man. I know that the total is a little bit too low in my opinion, but I think it still goes under. From a player prop perspective, without Devin Booker there, I think there's a couple different guys that's gonna have more usage, but Grayson Allen is one that really sticks out to me. I don't think I bet Dylan Brooks just because his points probably going to be a little bit too high. They've probably been inflated just a tad bit. But Grayson Allen and Gillespie, I think, are in really good spots against a Heat team that's playing 5th game in 7 nights. And I would be taking the 4.5 as well. I would be taking the 4.5. But like I said, it's not the greatest of conditions for either team. 5th and 7, I don't even know which one's worse. 5th and 7, you played the Jazz and you won by 31. So I don't think that was that taxing. A first game back home off a 6-game road trip. Maybe Heat early. They typically, come out, establish themselves early. Could see the Suns kind of struggling, going through the motions to start the game without Devin Booker being out there. And then, maybe they pick it up late. The Heat run out of gas, 5th game in 7 nights, second half spot. Like, I can see that. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. And then we'll get into, I'll give you guys thoughts on the other games, but it's nothing else that I bet so far. Let's see. Yeah, I see people still talking about the ice. I actually thought a couple of these games were going to be canceled today. I really did. Suns first game home off the long road trip, -4 is crazy. I saw this the opposite way, though. I saw this the opposite. You're right, 7-7. I saw this Miami laying 4.5. I must have been tripping. No way Miami was laying 4.5. I think Phoenix is potentially the right side, but more so than that, I think under. I really think under. Malik says he took under 227 on BetMGM last night. I think that's the right side, Malik. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Mike. We'll talk about that in just a second. Mark says, I also think it's a revenge spot for Phoenix. It's a spot where you run out of gas, too. Suns under 7 of the last 10. Yeah, the offense isn't great. Even if they have a good half, it's not sustainable. 7 says Heat or nothing. Prolific says Sunday plus snow. Jankiness level goes up. Jankiness level goes up. That's funny. All right. All right, cool. Let's go through the other games really briefly. All right, so which ones did I touch on? Denver and Memphis. I spent a lot of time on this game. Ultimately, my favorite play is the under, but this is the game that I missed the best of the line on because it was at 226 last night, and I didn't cap it last night. I didn't cap it until today. Denver is a team that has really, really struggled to score the basketball lately, and they play really, really slow. So Denver has played in 4 straight games that have stayed under this number. Their last 10 games have averaged just 216 points. Both teams are bottom half of the league in offensive rating over their last 10 games, and Denver's playing at the second slowest pace. Memphis, coming off a home loss against the Pelicans, offense hasn't been as great without Ja Morant. They get a much slower paced team than the Pelicans were in their last game. I know that game flew over the total. I think it was 260 points scored in that game, but Denver's offense has been struggling. They also have Peyton Watson listed as questionable. No Aaron Gordon there. Jamal Murray's listed as questionable, and Valanciunas is also listed as questionable. And it's 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th for Denver. So I leaned under, but I didn't get the best of the numbers, so I stayed away from that one. Didn't really look at it from a player prop perspective at all. Maybe going back to my guy, though, Cam Spencer, probably just going back to his points, rebounds, and assists, or some resemblance of that is probably what I would play here. As far as the Pelicans and the Suns game, because I know somebody just asked about this, so let's see what I wrote in my notes real quick. I know what I'm going to say. So Alvarado is listed as questionable. Devin Vassell is supposed to be back. Luke Cornett is listed as questionable. You got the Spurs laying 12, first game home off a 2-game road trip. I think they beat the Jazz in that last game. They end up covering the spread late in that game as well. And then New Orleans is playing their second straight road game, coming off a win against the Memphis Grizzlies in their last game. So I was looking at the total. It was at 240. It's come down to 239.5. It looks like And this is going to sound crazy, but I was actually looking at San Antonio team total under. And it's not necessarily because the Pelicans are a great defense. They're actually not. They're bottom 5 defense. But if like, I don't know. So the Spurs, I talked about this in the last game, right? The Spurs versus the Jazz. Like when the Spurs team total is set too high, they don't typically play well. They typically struggle to score the basketball. So I looked at them as laying double digits this season. They're actually 4-1 to the under. They've only gone over their team total one time. I feel like 126.5 is just an extremely high number. I know the Pels want to play fast. I know they don't play a lot of defense. The reason why I didn't take it is because not only do the Pels not play defense, it may just be like a matchup thing. This will be the 4th matchup between these 2 teams this season. The first 3 all went over the number. Real quick, let me just give you guys that. So December the 8th when they played, Spurs scored 135 points. November 8th when they played, Spurs scored 126 points. So they did stay under the number. And then the first game that they played on October 24th was the game that we were actually on the Spurs minus the 3.5. We got super lucky. Zion fouled. No, not Zion. Wemby fouled out in this game. I remember this game. Wemby fouled out, and De'Aaron Fox had to carry the load. Him and Devin Vassell got the job done. Or it might have been Devin Vassell and Ron Harper got the job done. But yeah, I remember them winning the game by 4 in New Orleans. But they gave up 120 points in that game. So 2 of the 3 games, the Spurs have stayed under this total. And like I said, 5 games that they have been double-digit, favorites, they have not done well scoring the basketball. But 3 overs in these games that kind of scares me a little bit. And I just watched the Pelicans give up 127 points to the Grizzlies without Ja Morant. That don't encourage me to want to bet under at all, if I'm being completely honest. But I kind of think under. The other thing I was looking at in this game specifically, and I'll just go real quick to outlier because I think the comment that was about this game made me think the same thing. So this is outliers listed in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. If we go to the San Antonio game, there's a lot of things that would kind of lean towards the San Antonio early spot. Now remember, the Spurs are not a good team as far as like, for whatever reason, they just don't cover the full game spread, and it's evident right here, right? You see the Spurs see the Spurs in the first half. They've covered 29 of their 43? 29 of their 43 games they've actually covered in the first half. But for the full game, look at that, 21-20. So this is like, this is closer to like 66%. This is closer to 50%. So for whatever reason, the Spurs first half makes a lot of sense. Then I look at the Spurs in the first half as a home favorite, 11-8. That's profitable. And look at the Pelicans as road dogs, 7-13. So Spurs first half does make the most sense, in my opinion, in this game. Am I betting it? Probably not. But that does make a lot of sense. You see the Spurs in the first half with the rest advantage at 9-5. The Pelicans with the rest disadvantage in the first half, 2-8 against the spread. Pels coming off a win, probably a little bit of regression as well. Like I don't want the Pels, and the Spurs make sense, but I don't think I'm gonna get there. It looks like the best line you get for San Antonio is a minus 6.5 in the first half right now. Minus 115, minus 115 on DraftKings and BetMGM and Caesars. So yeah, pretty consensus number there. That's what I would think, but I'm not laying as big of a number with the Pelicans. With the San Antonio Spurs is my thought process in this game. All right, cool. I did see that and wanted to show you guys that, kind of showing you guys all the tools today. All right, so and then let's go through the comments real quick, and then I'll go to the next game because I know I was talking a lot. Took Memphis minus the 4, SGA under his rebounds and assists for free sauce. Dante DiVincenzo over his 12.5 points. Yeah, I kind of agree with this, Raptors. He says my Raptors versus the Thunder smell like an under game today. Yeah, you got Thunder off a loss. Raptors, I think this is like their 5th straight road game. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I think that they struggle to score the basketball. Thunder should be locked in defensively. 4th and 6 for the Raptors, and all 4 have been played on the road as well. They started off in LA, right? Yeah, Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Trailblazers. They've won 3 in a row. Thunder playing their 2nd straight home game. I think that game goes under the number as well, but I'm probably not going to bet it unless it's live. And man, under 29.5 points. Okay. I don't even know if I hope they don't even play the game today. I hope Minnesota and Golden State get canceled. I hope they cancel the reschedule too, even though this one is rescheduled. March has played Memphis minus 3.5, under 222.5. Okay. 77 figures back on OKC. Real quick, let's just see. Let's see if this adds up. Thunder previous loss. Thunder 5-3 against the number. They win by an average of 10.9 points coming off a loss this season. Let's see if they're double-digit favorites off a loss. They are 4-3 against the number, 5-2 straight up. Win by an average of 7.9 points. They're laying 11.5 in this game. 4-3 to the under. All these games have been at home except one. Yeah, I'm not laying with the Thunder right now. Not laying with the Thunder right now. Best of luck though. 77 figures. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Adam. That's why I want to label them right now. OKC has a ton of injuries. Yeah, I wrote down the injury report. They got Isaiah Hartenstein still out. Wiggins is questionable. Caruso's out. Mitchell is out. Jalen Williams is out. Like I don't really want them. Quickly is questionable. Colin Murray-Boyles is questionable. OKC without Colin Murray-Boyles could potentially score the basketball, but they're still missing a lot, in my opinion here. And you definitely want Quickly in too for offense. I haven't been on OKC early this season, Dons. I feel like OKC has been more of a third quarter team, like kind of like the Warriors. Just look at it real quick. So first half, they're 23-20 against the spread, 23-20-2 against the spread. If they're laying points in the first half as a home favorite, just 10-12-1 against the numbers. So I was right. OKC has not been profitable in the first half this season. The Raptors, as road dogs, are actually 7-6 in the first half and 9-4 against the spread overall. Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with the Thunder first half either. What's up, Jess Dre? Appreciate you for tapping in. Brian says, Chris, do the Clippers get right against the Nets? We'll talk about that game in just a second. The Pacers did beat the Thunder, smoked the Thunder in that last game. Dom says, I did take Kendrick Williams over 14.5 points plus rebounds. Okay. Yeah, they smoked to Indy in that last game. All right, so the other game it's only one game, right? Yeah, it's only one game that I missed, and that was the Brooklyn and Clipper game. So Cam Thomas is out. Noah Clowney is listed as doubtful. Kawhi is also listed as questionable. I want nothing to do with this game if I don't know who's gonna play. No Bogdanovich, no Derrick Jones Jr., of course. So this is first game on the West Coast for the Clippers. They do have double-digit in-season revenge. They're coming off the overtime game against the Celtics where they lost. They did fight hard in that game. It was a nice bounce-back spot for them to cover that spread after losing by 54 against the Celtics. They were getting 8 in that game the other day. So first game on the West Coast. They got the Suns on Wednesday. Clippers playing their second straight home game. Could be a little bit of a letdown after beating the Lakers. You need them to win this game by double digits pretty much because the line's listed at 8.5. I kind of think this one goes over. So one of the systems that I have is on totals that are super low. Hold on, let's see if I can find it real quick. I had a system in here that was on, maybe it's, okay, hold on real quick. I'll tell you guys what it is, hold on. Yeah, all right, so it's post-COVID. So post-COVID, when two teams play very slow. So pace under 98 for both teams. And the total is set lower than 220, which of course this total is like 212.5. I'd be contrarian and bet the over. So as long as it's a regular season game, those games are actually 56% to the over and 6-1 to the over this season. So 51% to the over in a 600 game 600 sample size since 2021 season after COVID. And this season is actually 6-1 to the over. They're averaging they're going over by about 20 points, a little over 20 points with an average total of 217.5. So my thought process is that this game is a tad bit too low. Let's just see if I drop the total a little bit more to 215. Just 1-0 to the over. That total was 213.5, and it went over by 11.5 points. That game was Nets and Clippers earlier this season. Crazy enough, that game was 214.5, and it finished 121 to 105. So 226 points scored in that game on a 214 total. This total is 211.5. I think it goes over again. That's my thought process on that game. I don't want to lay this many points with the Clippers. They can be BSing sometimes. They should be able to beat Brooklyn, I guess, by this many points though. But yeah, I think I just bet the over with the total continuing to drop. I think that it could go. The Clippers offense should be able to score in this game. Brooklyn's defense hasn't been great recently. So that's my thought process on this one. Over 211 looks like a 210.5 is available out there. That's my thought process. All right, so that is, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. What I bet, Sacramento, Detroit, over the 225.5. You can get 225. You can get a better number than I got. Kyle Kuzma under 15.5 points. And Miami and Phoenix, short list under here. Under the 226.5. We'll see if somebody ends up getting rolled in, because then this line total will go up. Even if Jalen Green gets rolled in, it might go up a little bit. I kind of want to bet under in that game. I may potentially also get there with the Brooklyn and Clippers over. I just told you guys about. You can get over 210.5 right now on DraftKings. A little bit too low, man. A little bit too low. Non-conference game. And that's really it. Like, I don't really enjoy this slate too much today, if I'm being completely honest. Don't agree with Memphis laying this many points against Denver. Another thing I wanted to say about Denver real quick before we get out of here, and maybe it's just, depending upon who's going to end up playing for Denver, but this season as road dogs, that's when you want to play on. That's when you want to play on the Nuggets. It's 7-1 against the number this season when they're road dogs, 6-2 straight up. A lot of these games, of course, came without Jokic. I think all of them came without Jokic except the one that they played against the Warriors at the beginning of the season. I think it was the first game of the season. They ended up losing that one, not covering. And then the Rockets, they did lose to they beat the Rockets in Houston to start. That was the game when I was in Philly on the 21st of November. So yeah, they've covered every single game since that first loss against the Warriors back on October the 23rd. Every single time they've been a dog, they've covered the number. And we just saw it, 5th game in 7 nights against the Bucks. They covered that one as well. Grizzlies don't really scare me, man. So I'll be looking at Denver in that game too. But I would let the number, see who's gonna play. Let the number get as big as it's gonna get, and then take the spread, because they've been getting. Let's see, they got 3 against the Rockets, 7.5 against the Raptors, 13.5 against the Cavs. Won that game outright. 13.5 against Cleveland, 14.5 against the 76ers, 10.5 against the Celtics, 1.5 against the Mavs, and then 9 against the Bucks. And they won the last 4 outright, no matter what the number was. So that should probably go on the short list too. Denver plus, but I want to see if I can get a 5, maybe even a 5.5. Will depend. It depends on who ends up playing in that game. Again, Denver got they got Valanciunas, Peyton Watson, and Jamal Murray all listed as questionable. All right. That's it, man. That's it. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If so, do me a favor, hit the like button, check the resources out. They're all linked in the description of the video. Try to be back tomorrow. Shout out some more NBA I haven't looked at the slate for tomorrow yet, so I'll do that soon as well. But yeah, Jackson, Outlaw, Moneyballer, Osh, all linked in the description of the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Best of luck on your action. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, and yeah, best of luck on your action today.